in your zombie movie, right? But the first one never went. There's some zombie attacks in there, but it's not like hordes of, the infected swarming, huge sets. And there's hardly any zombie action in the second one. It's more about the human villains.
Yeah.
So so they really shouldn't need huge budgets or whatnot, but if they're bringing back Cillian Murphy, I guess he's a big star now, and a few other things like that
Okay,
probably have
so
to go into it.
he did rock up in the
He makes an
in
appearance
Bone
in the
Temple.
final scene, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So he does a fucking Luke Skywalker basically. He rocks up right at the end and
Well, at
top.
least he's got some dialogue. He doesn't just fucking stand there like a dweeb for 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, I guess that's something. And if you believe that, you believe there are a lot of Richard Simmons Juniors running around. Um, yeah, okay. So the shit that I've heard about the movie, right?
Mm.
It just made like it sounds even more fucking removed from what a 28 movie should be.
Well, I think it's it's being done. Um, I think if you want intense, suspenseful, thriller-minute, white-knuckle chase survival stories, you've got the first two movies for that. If you want something a bit more philosophical and uh, sort of, it's more like a drama, really. You've got the later films for that. So I think if you step back and look at the whole series, from beginning to end, it's got something for everyone. I don't think there's a film series like it. To have four movies now that are just so different in tone, and almost different in genre. It's pretty impressive what it's carved out. I don't think there's a film series like it. Um,
I guess what it comes down to is the idea of a zombie-ridden world 28 years down the line is a lot more interesting than the shit that we've been getting. But I believe Duncan Casey even said this, going, well, a lot of the tropes that it can sort of hit. I mean, we just had like 10 years of The Walking Dead do that. Um, so like, what can a 28 years really add on to that?
yeah, that really hurts the film. I was thinking the same thing watching both of them. So many things have muscled in on its turf since that first movie from the early 2000s. Yeah, we've had The Walking Dead, which is an entire media empire in and of itself, dominate the genre. And if audiences aren't familiar with The Walking Dead, then this will seem sort of really fresh and hardcore.
Fuck.
Um, but but yeah, if you're familiar with The Walking Dead and like human villains like Negan and the governor and that, um, then then the movies seem a little bit derivative. The movies are obviously R-rated, so they can go a bit harder in their depravity. But yeah, I felt I remember thinking watching it last weekend, like there's like The Walking Dead is really owns a lot of this turf that it's trying to set up shop in.
Yeah, and I
But
think that's
I think but it was pretty good, and yeah, it's always an interesting one. I can't say that about too many movies, but the more I think about it, the more I liked it. And I thought Ray Fiennes' character was much better in the second one.
he seemed
Maybe
like a
he's
real nihilistic fucking bastard in the first one. Like, yeah, let's just torture your cancer-ridden mum and put a skull up on the pyre. Yeah, it was just weird.
yeah, no, I enjoyed him much better the second time round. I felt the members of Jimmy Crystal's crew, they were a bit underwhelming. They're not really fleshed out or really well explored. But I loved the storyline with the Alpha Samson. I just thought that was all terrific. Um, and I hope they can sort of end the final installment. How hard do you want me to go on spoilers here?
Uh, so about I know about as much as like a semi sort of interpretable cure, but that's about it. I don't know what the fuck that means. Like like Samson has like a line of dialogue or something. But that's about all I really know about it. Like I don't really know what happens to the fingers or any of that shit.
Yeah, so yeah, Kelsa has yeah inadvertently or he has been sort of giving Samson medication and that, but he's sort of come up with a concoction that has seemingly cured
Amen.
him.
Hope you're having a good one, mate.
Um,
Just talking about 28 years here. Yeah, go on, mate.
yeah, Samson seems to have been cured of the rage virus, but it's still a bit up in the air, and I think that was intentionally, whether it's permanent or whether it's as only as long as the drugs remain in his system.
Well, that's
The
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 thing,
the
like that, because
third
that's
film.
the like that's the difference between a treatment and a cure, right? Like the treatment you need to keep being on for it to suppress whatever's wrong with you, whereas a cure is a one and done deal.
Well, that's why I think it's up in the air. If it because I think they still have to knuckle down the plot for the third one. If it works better with him cured permanently, they'll run with that. If it works better with him regressing, they'll go with that. But that's kind of why I liked it. And it's very subtle. It's not some sort of big epic thing. There's little things that probably aren't obvious that doesn't beat the viewer over the head 100 times like he suddenly starts wearing a cloth to cover himself. And it doesn't make like he just rocks up during the movie after another interaction with Ray Fiennes' character and he's wearing it, so he's becoming more aware and it sort of builds up to the yeah when he finally speaks. And little things like wiping his hands after tasting some berries and washing his hands in the river, and so all these little subtle things that he's regaining control of himself. It was really well done, that whole part of the story.
That's pretty cool.
It is, it's very good. It's almost and I did pick up on the biblical themes. There's a lot of sort of that in there. Going back to the story of Genesis, the first thing Adam and Eve do when tasting the forbidden fruit is cover themselves. Um, and there's other things like that that sort of I picked up on. I think it's a real multi-layered kind of film. And yeah, I thought it was a not necessarily better, but I thought it was a much more complete, accomplished film than the first one.
Do you think they should have just opened up with the Bone Temple over the first one?
Well, you could make a case for that. I've heard that being talked about here and there, and I think it could work, but I do think it would lack the oomph of the payoff with Samson's story, I think. So I think you could dive in at the second one and not miss too much, but you sort of would it would lack the oomph of his sort of character payoff because he was such a terror in the first film, just wreaking havoc. But it's interesting because they are evolving. I had completely forgotten because I rewatched the first one before the second one, and I completely forgot about like the infected are sort of starting their own little community. You see them washing in the river, and the baby being born seemingly not rage infected. I'd forgotten all that shit. So I'm glad it was all fresh in my mind before diving in. But
Uh,
but it's not perfect. I thought Spike's character was a lot weaker this time around. He didn't have a lot of agency. He was the real driving force in the first installment. Here he's sort of um lacks a bit of agency. There's a good reason for it. He's obviously being, he can't escape this gang
Fuck me.
of thugs. Um, but yeah, I think his character sort of took a step backwards in the overall story. And but some things surprised me. Like I thought he may head back to the island community, and he didn't do that. um, and yeah, and it sort of after the climax, it sort of um, picks up a short while later, and yeah, we finally, finally the long rumors were confirmed, and um, we get our first look at Killian Murphy again after so long. So it all I'm not a big fan of these fucking cliffhanger endings, by the way. I
No,
think
I'm not either. Which is what now. Granted, um, 28 years later was made knowing it was going to have a sequel.
yeah, that's correct.
I don't excuse it. I still think it's fucking retarded because you end up with a circumstance like what's potentially happening with the Bone Temple. Like, I mean, if no third one comes,
Yeah, I think it will. I I can't imagine it not getting the third installment. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel the feeling I'm getting is they'll it will be successful enough to get the third one, and it will bring the story full circle. I wouldn't
oh shit, that reminds me.
like I love these guys that are saying it's just a cash grab. They want it to go forever. They literally have a character that's been cured. If it becomes widespread, that's it. The story's over. That's the opposite of a fucking cash grab. That's like ending the whole franchise right there.
Yeah, they've got the cure for the rage virus. Um, what more do you want? It's all fucking over. You know, it's like it reminds me of that golden ticket episode in The Office. We need golden ticket. 2 words. Keep it simple. Golden ticket. Then Jim's just like free paper. Like it's shit like that's putting us out of business. um, it's just a cash grab. Like, see, but this is what I don't understand. How can something be labeled as that if they've sat on a perch for like 20 fucking years making it? Like I don't understand that. Like when I hear Jurassic World's a cash grab, I don't know, man. They sat on it for 15 years, right? Um, I got everything's a cash grab. Spoiler alert: everything that's come out in the theater has been concocted to get your fucking money. Like this didn't just happen overnight. It's like we already did this when I was playing through War for Cybertron. Like, oh, those new Transformers movies are just fucking cash grabs. Like, and the 1984 cartoon wasn't.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
fucking
designed
hell, it's
to
so
tempt your money.
dumb. Yeah, it is. Like, when I keep hearing this shit, like, oh, it's the Bay films, oh, they were just a cash grab on nostalgia. Like, when Transformers was an original idea, right, in 1984, it wasn't a cash grab back then. Like, I mean, everything about it was made to be a toy. Like,
Yeah.
are we going to have that conversation now? Or are we going to pretend that this is just something that happens? You turn 35 and everything's a fucking cash grab. Oh, it just pisses me off when I hear that shit. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think the real curse of these years movies is the simple fact they just sat on that perch just way too long. Um, and not to mention the trailer for that first one. Like, I still want to see the movie that was talking about.
Yeah. In because yeah, it most definitely wasn't that. And that's probably what's turning people off this one as well. People think zombie movie. I think general audiences and casual moviegoers have it in their heads what a zombie movie is, and it needs to hit certain beats and jump through certain hoops. And twice in a row now, these movies haven't done that, and it will hurt them at the box office. When you're advertising a zombie movie, it's got to sort of do what it says on the box. And when you
Well,
start getting philosophical and shit,
yeah,
people feel like they're being ripped off.
when I saw that fucking trailer, uh, the one with Ray Fiennes and Samson dancing was when I
Yes.
realized that this movie was not going to be a priority for me. Um, because it looked even more fucking nonsensical than the last one.
Yeah. It gets even weirder than that.
That's the one, and the whole is this that dance shit? Um, Like, I mean, well, that's not really a massive spoiler. Fuck, you know what? Weapons free, man. Fucking go nuts with it. Like, the whole Jimmy Crystal thing again, I think, is infinitely going to be more interesting as an idea than what I've been hearing about in this movie. The whole Satan thing that's meant to be happening towards the end, and Ray Fiennes basically someone flips a switch in his head, and he starts dancing to Iron Maiden or whatever. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I read that they were touring again. I've never been a huge fan of their music,
me
Iron Maiden.
neither. No, I
Um,
don't really care.
is it heavy metal or thrash metal or something? But yeah. Yeah, I thought the scene was a bit silly, but people seem to rave about it. I thought it was a bit overdone. But yeah, not a lot of people are bagging that online, so it must have landed for a lot more people.
All right, well,
But
whatever tickles your pickle, I guess.
yeah.
I don't really understand the whole fucking philosophy behind it.
Well, it stems from the fact that the survivors have been abandoned by the world. They haven't grown up normally. They have no formal education. They don't really have any education, and that's how Jimmy Crystal keeps a tight leash on his gang. He tells them stories that he's in league with the devil, and they believe him because they're so gullible and they don't know any better and they're traumatized. And so education is a sort of theme woven in and out of the film as well. Kelson stumbles upon the cure because he educates himself. He tries different things when he has Samson subdued under morphine. And you see him like writing notes in his little bunker, trying to perfect it and refine it. Um, and then the final scene at the end with Jim, Killian Murphy. I remember we were talking last week that I find it hard to believe I don't think he'd be in the movie because I don't think they'd have two main characters with the same name. But the evil Jimmy, he's out of the picture by that point. So I thought that was a clever way to do it. Wrap up one storyline with that character and then bring in another one at the end, setting up the third film.
Yeah.
But they could have shown Jim doing anything. He could have rocked up like Rambo and slaughtered the Alpha and saved the day. Like they could have done anything. Ever since this trilogy was announced, demand for Cillian Murphy's return has been at fever pitch. They could have done the most fan wanking thing ever, and audiences would have lapped it up. um, but how they introduced him was really good. I thought he's educating a young kid, like he's teaching them about history with Germany and all that sort of stuff. And that's in complete contrast to all the characters we've seen up until that point, who just really don't know any better. They believe in the devil, they believe in demons and monsters because they've got the world ended when they were children, and they never academically developed or emotionally developed. They're just basically kids in adult bodies. So all of that stuff I found really interesting. But again, we keep circling back to the same point. It's a fucking zombie movie.
Yeah.
um,
See, that's what does my head in, man. Like, I know fucking. That's why I really like uh, Richard Jackson when he weighs in on this. Oh, it's not a zombie movie. Like, you get the idea that Danny Boyle is the one who's always saying it's not a zombie movie, but it is, though, isn't it? Like, Alex Garland is the one who's always sort of reminding him of that. Like, but it is, though, isn't it?
yeah. And again, that's another thing that's it's not unique. I think there is a television show that sort of explored the idea if they can be cured or not. I forget its name, but again, it's people who are heavily invested in this type of media. There's nothing new in it, so they might find it a bit underwhelming.
Well, it's a problem, that's for sure. Yeah, you know what? I would have had Jim. come out wearing a hoodie and a shotgun
Yeah.
and walk right up to the alpha and be like, "I've been waiting for you."
Yeah. And audiences would have laughed it up. They could have done anything in the world, you know. I mean, just cut Samson's head off or something. Just going full mental. But um, yeah, it was interesting. And how you introduce a character is always really important. I mean, that sets up the whole arc. So, and I didn't, I don't know, I detected a slight little bit of darkness there. It wasn't all rosy. I thought, so he sees from a distance these two survivors being chased by a horde of infected, and the little girl he's educating, they pick up their rifles and ask, should we help them? And there's a beat. I picked up on it, but not many people seem to have. I think he hesitates just for a fraction of a second, and he's a brilliant actor. He knows how to hide it. And he goes, "Of course we will," or "Of course we do." But I detected a slight hesitation. It's really good how he played that moment. Um, he held back just for a fraction of a second, and then sort of picked up his rifle. So yeah, time will tell. There's still
Jump
another
it,
movie to
Leon, you
come.
fuck.
And we'll yeah, hopefully it we'll be we'll get some production details soon enough, and then yeah, they can bring the story full circle. We still interestingly enough, Aaron Taylor Johnson wasn't in it. We never went back to them at all.
Oh, well,
It
I
was
think we've sort of evolved beyond the island community.
well, he left the baby there. The infected woman who gave birth to the kid, Spike dropped him off back at the island community and then pushed on alone. I'd like to see what became of that. So maybe they're going to pull all these plot threads together. I don't even think the kid was mentioned.
They'll treat it as though that kid was never fucking born, because the story has evolved beyond the baby.
Yeah, well, that'll be a bit shit if it does, but we'll
Well, there's
see.
nothing I like better than a movie introducing something as quite as profound as that, and then doing nothing with it, and then it'll be the second Cyclonus, mate. It retroactively never exists.
Oh, that would be a shame, but yeah, you're probably right.
Oh no, it's like I don't feel good saying that shit, man. But I've seen this happen so many fucking times lately. Um, okay, well I can't jump out of the cart, so I'm guessing this is the end of the fucking road. Yeah, all right. Oh, bullshit! It better not make me. Oh, for fuck's sake! I got to go through all that again. Are you fucking kidding me? Um. Oh yeah, we're talking about the 28 years later, the Bone Temple again. Whether or not, yeah, I reckon it's yeah. I think the curse that that first film has is very very simple in my eyes, and that is the movie that it was showing was a lot more interesting than what we got. Like when I sat down and I saw 28 years later after seeing that awesome trailer, it was basically like the Porch Pals of 28 years later movies. You remember Porch Pals from The Simpsons? The fucking politically correct Itchy and Scratchy cartoon. Lemonade, yes please, and they're like sedated. That was the shit. That was my reaction to what we got in 28 years later. And just some of the things that I've heard about the Bone Temple sound even more fucking bizarre. Like, I mean, it doesn't even sound like a movie of its type. And funny enough, like, that's sort of why Weeks is my favorite out of the lot. Did you see new Resident Evil 9 is out? Yeah, I did. I thought about picking it up, but. I don't know. I don't really want to pick up a new game when I've got like 19 other games that I've bought, and still haven't even opened for the first time. I hear it's great, but every Resident Evil gets fucking great reviews when it comes out. I mean, It's Resident Evil, right? But yeah, I've heard that it's out. Yeah, I would have just had the Oh, and we didn't talk about this last week either when we were bagging the shit out of the people that thought that zombie that climbs out of the meadow is Cillian Murphy. Um, I always loved. You were talking about how, like, even Danny Boyle and Alex Garland were like, "Don't be stupid." Um, if that was whether or not it was him or not. Um, I always loved when the second trailer came out. The thumbnail. There's only one thing in the thumbnail for the second trailer, and it's a close-up shot of that zombie that everyone wouldn't shut up about. Was Jim. Like, if that isn't a flat-out confirmation, it's not fucking him. I don't know what is.
Yeah, that was great.
I always thought there was a way to climb out of this thing, but apparently not. Oh, well, that's alright. Fuck me, he's right up. Reload. Now, preferably. I know I need to shoot the, but I'm just trying to get all the, get all the ammo that these idiots drop, because ammo's running a bit dry. I can't even remember what the fuck it was I did. Yeah, alright, we're gonna need to dip into that first aid spray and maybe that grenade. Oh, fucking hell! Yeah, they should have just done 28 decades later. Yeah, Christ, I've made a fucking mess of this run. I will say this about the riot gun, it's definitely scoring fucking better headshots these days. Oh, fucking hell. It's not bad. I may say it's best evil so far from 8. Oh, well, I kind of figured Resident Evil 9 would tone down some of the fucking the craziest shit that they've been doing, like with oh well, case in point, I mean, Leon's in the game. Like, it's, if that isn't a indication that they're walking back some of this weird crap that they've been doing over these last 2 games. It seems like what you'd expect out of a Resident Evil title. Hang on, move that stand out of the way so I can actually see that properly. Yeah, well, there you go then. Resident Evil 4 and 2 are pretty much held up as the 2 best games in the series. I reckon the remake of Resident Evil 1 is the absolute best, but I mean, Resident Evil Village, like, it looks more like Alone in the Dark than a fucking, like, isn't that like a werewolf on the front cover of it? Like, what the fuck's a werewolf doing in Resident Evil? Yeah, but I'm gonna make that photo of Jim coming out of the meadow my new profile picture. Or it's gonna go up on my banner, because without a doubt, the funniest thing I've ever heard in a trailer reaction was the Valverde guy saying, "What? Because it's got sunken eyes and high cheekbones, Killian Murphy looks like a fucking corpse." I thought there was another bird's nest to knock over.
It's a series I've always wanted to sort of know a bit more about, Alone in the Dark. And the other one I've always been curious about is Silent Hill. But who would have the time, hey?
Yeah, I really should stream the original Alone in the Dark. I remember seeing a few cousins play it back in the day, and I was way too young to play it, and it used to freak me the fuck out. Um, and I think what that has had a movie, hasn't it? Wasn't Christian Slater in the movie?
Yeah, well, I think both of them have. Silent Hill had a movie as well with Sean Bean and Tara Reid, I think her name is. I actually watched that movie back in the day, but not being familiar with the games, it was kind of lost on me. But it seemed like a cool idea, though. And there are some Silent Hill games on the Switch and Steam, I think. So now that I've got the hardware to play them, I'll have to, yeah, give one a try. And I think Silent Hill has a couple of movies since then. That came out around 2008 or so.
Yeah, I never got into that one, and I keep getting asked fairly regularly these days if I ever checked out. Um, what was the other one? The Last of Us and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I haven't. I do own Dead by Daylight, but I haven't fired it up yet. Apparently, that one's meant to be really cool as well. Some spooky shit.
Yeah, and I was excited to see there's one that looked great about 10 or so years ago now called Outlast. It looks phenomenal, and that's on the Steam Deck as well.
I'm looking
Um,
forward to that Death Ground and that Claude, those dinosaur survival hunter ones that are
oh,
coming out because we've been getting fucked around with Jurassic Park Survival. Like again, man, Doctor Wu said it best: if you don't innovate, someone else will.
yeah.
And there's these other games coming out, and I don't know if it's true or not if Dino Crisis is going to get its remake or not, because that's another Capcom property.
Yeah, and it's another one as well. It seems to a rumor seems to pop up every couple of months or so about that.
No, I wouldn't say no to it. I mean, because it was one that totally missed me by. I mean, it's Resident Evil with dinosaurs. All right. What's not to like about
Yeah.
that? All right. I remember this Salazar statue, but what's the fucking gimmick with it? I would like to get around to those later releases in Devil May Cry as well,
Yeah.
like 4 and 5 and all of that, because those had totally fucking missed me by.
Yeah.
All right, so there's some wank stain that's. No, no, it's all right. Yeah, like I did, like again, I did buy Resident Evil 7 back in the day, and I play. I mean, and it is a fun game and all that good stuff. I just don't think it's a very good Resident Evil game. It's an awesome horror game. I just don't think it's a particularly good Resident Evil one. Um, and Resident Evil 8 was another one, just yeah, or Resident Evil Village, whatever the fuck it's called. Because we've got to have subplots on these things now. Oh, you little bastard. Fuck you. Alright. I don't know if the if Alone in the Dark has seen any action in recent years. Is that? I mean, who would even own it these days? I always thought Konami had a hand in that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a Konami game from memory.
Was that Chris on the cover? Was it Metten for Resident Evil 8 as the werewolf or whatever it is? I didn't know that was Chris. There you go. Um,
You can't go wrong with a werewolf.
nah, like yeah, but is it a very Resident Evil thing though? Like, I mean, they're more like mutants and all that sort of shit. When you start getting into like lycanthropy and all of that, I don't know. I mean, to me, it does not seem it's not very maximal of you. I mean, unless it's Wolf Cop. Remember that trailer you showed me? I mean, that's where it's at. I mean, the intro to that, like what, waking up hungover, the gun falls underneath the car.
Yeah, that was one where they blew the best moments in the trailer when he's flipping the belt and the gun flies out of the holster.
I always loved when, like, they almost play that entire morning in the trailer.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I love
Oh, that
how
was funny.
when he does get the gun back and then he climbs back into the car, he doesn't even get off the pavement before he pulls up and just goes.
Yeah, Wolf Cop.
Taking out the parking sign when he pulls up at the station was a good one, and
Yeah.
rolling up the window when someone's screaming out for help. He's just too hungover to do anything. Oh god, all that shit just cracks me up, man.
Yeah. That was a great trailer.
But it's one of those moments where, again, I think it's it's the 28 years later problem where the trailer is just so much more entertaining than what the final movie is.
Yeah.
Like they could have uploaded that as a YouTube skit and it would have had the same effect.
Yeah, the movie was a bit rough, but yeah, credit where it's due. That's a bloody awesome trailer.
Yeah, Officer Lugaroo. I don't know why Leon all of a sudden starts suplexing these guys. Yeah, well, we've had a very long history. Yeah, I remember kicking your ass for most of it. Oh, that's right. They turn this thing off, don't they, if you screw around too long. Oh no, only one of them came up. Alright, so what did I fuck up? Yeah, alright, so I might check out the Bone Temple tomorrow. And God help me, but did you get to the end of The Strangers Chapter 2?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm a sucker for punishment. That's one I wouldn't recommend though. I wouldn't
Give it the miss?
no, if you weren't blown away by the first one, yeah, there's very little in the second one that's going to entice you. So, well, actually, one you should check out was that Grizzly Night. I watched that on Sunday and really enjoyed it. That's a very lean, tight sort of creature feature,
Yeah,
loosely
I've got
based.
that. I've got that. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's easy done.
I actually enjoyed that more than the Bone Temple. I watched it on a lazy Sunday last week. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's sort of loosely based on a real incident that happened back in the late 60s at a national park in America. There had never been a bear attack in the park's history, and there were two on the same night, a couple of miles apart. So, but yeah, I enjoyed that more than the Bone Temple.
Yeah, alright, so is chapter 3 still going ahead?
Yeah, there was a trailer for it. Um, after after the end of the second one, I think they showed a trailer before the credits rolled. Yeah, so um yeah, Christ, that sorry tale will finally come to an end. It potentially it was good, but I don't know, I don't like bagging actors too much, but I found the female lead, fairly poor. I know the scripts aren't the best thing ever written, but yeah, I just sort of really struggled to um, sort of go with her. Um, I don't think she's done a very good job, but a lot of but I also think the directing's really shoddy. Rennie Harland, I mean, I'm not whistling Dixie here. He's done much better work in his career, and he seemed I was excited to see him because I like it when directors sort of go outside their comfort zone, but
Yeah.
I guess in the final wash up, he was a strange choice for this kind of film, and that's proven to be true. They aren't very well directed either.
Yeah, well, I reckon after the 28 years stint and after the Strangers chapter, blah blah, I never want to hear any shit now about an upcoming horror trilogy that's filmed back to back. Oh,
Yeah,
because we've had it twice and they've both been, I mean, like not quite what you'd imagine them to be. So yeah, like I'm not getting excited over the next fucking whatever that's filmed back to back. I'm done with that. I think
yeah,
it's been proven now that it doesn't work.
yeah. Well, there's a quirky little detail that I kind of like, but it gives other people the shits. They're not even consistent with the titling. So the first one was The Strangers: Chapter One. Then it's The Strangers Chapter Two. They just gotta fuck with us and give it a semicolon for the third one. It's like, is there some point to that, or are they just so fucking lazy they don't even care? It's kind of funny that.
But like I remember when they did that with the Twilight movies, right? There was like what is it? It was just called Twilight, and then all of a sudden all the marketing around the sequel when it was coming out, like the sequel, it was what it had the title, the Twilight Saga, New Moon. All of a sudden, like what? Like it's
Yeah.
never had that title before. Why the fuck has it got one now?
Yeah.
That was sort of the, but then they quickly dropped that because just about everything after was just going back to its novel names.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess at that point when it was like the most fucking insane, hugest, biggest thing on the planet at the time.
Yeah. The Twilight Saga, New Moon. And then it's like, yeah, whatever, who cares?
Yeah, do you remember that? It was really fucking weird because like I was about like what, like 17 I think when that movie came out. And I remember going to that opening night being like, oh shit. Yeah, I got a bit greedy there. I remember going there going, why does it have the Twilight Saga on it when the actual like chapter whatever itself is just called New Moon? Why has it got this fucking weird branding on it? Oh, that's so everyone knows that it's a Twilight movie. I think anyone at this day and or like when that thing was coming out, fucking everyone's gonna know that's a Twilight movie. I mean, come on, why does it have that saga heading on it?
Yeah. Yeah, and that was during a time as well that seemed to be common. Like it wasn't called Wolverine, it was X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah, it was just this weird fetish that they all had at the time.
And they also retroactively renamed Pitch Black. It's the Chronicles of Riddick, Pitch Black. So it was kind of trendy to do that sort of stuff for a couple of years there in the mid to late 2000s.
Alright, what's the fucking trick to this shit? No more curtains 1 and 2, just plain curtains. Yeah, because now it's, it's not the Dark Knight trilogy, it's Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. Singular, but there's three movies involved in it. Like, it's just this weird fucking thing that they do from time to time.
Yeah. Well, that one's a bit sad. The airbrushing of Batman Begins out of the the trilogy is kind of weird because it's an excellent film. But yeah, I noticed Channel 9 pulled that shit a couple of years ago. They were hyping up Christopher Nolan's Batman films and they completely omitted Batman Begins. They only screened The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. Well, it's a yeah, a bit of a strange one that. It seems to be getting airbrushed out of history.
Yeah, the thing with me, though, and the worst part about that is that I think, without a doubt, oh, fucking hell. God, I'm playing like shit tonight. I'm not gonna, no, I'm gonna call it for what it is. I thought you said they weren't that good. They ain't. We playing like shit. Well, we've got these wankers coming up down below. We might just keep pulling this for a little bit. Yeah, I actually think Batman Begins was the best out of the three.
Yeah, it seems to be the most comic booky, which is what I love about it.
Because it's not filmed in the fucking real world.
You had the slums with all that sort of orange mist kind of decor. It was a bit more ambitious and a global story. We pick up with Bruce Wayne in prison, which was such a bold, interesting choice to start the film. Yeah, you had Ra's al Ghul and the Scarecrow. I mean, they're quite well-known villains in comic book fandom, but and they did make an appearance in the animated series, but I guess for a lot of general moviegoers, they probably hadn't heard of those two villains before, so they felt really fresh. So yeah, I quite liked it.
Not to mention
Batman
Killian
Begins.
Murphy again.
Yeah, the Scarecrow, and he was probably the best thing about it. Um, and yeah, the bait and switch with Ken Watanabe and Liam Neeson. Amazing they pulled that off. You probably couldn't do it in this day and age. And it was so good as well when he's got the mustache. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. He looks fucking exactly like Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, fuck, I'm over this. I don't know why we're getting so stingy with our fucking ammo tonight. Jesus. Yeah, because he looks like he leapt right out of a fucking comic page, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's playing Henry Ducard, a seemingly obscure villain, and yeah, it reveals that yeah, Liam Neeson was Ra's al Ghul the
Oh,
whole time.
fucking hell. Wait a minute, we gotta... Alright, attaboy, Leon. Just don't fuck me around and we'll be alright tonight. Oh my god, of course it's one of these. You're one of these assholes, aren't you? And not to mention Tom Wilkinson was in there as well.
Yeah, Falcone.
Falcone, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the cast was really good. Morgan Freeman, Rodger Hauer, Gary Oldman, yeah, Commissioner Gordon.
I'm getting real sick and tired. You obviously do not know who you are fucking with. Yeah. Applesauce, bitch. I don't like the sound of them apples, Will. What are we gonna do? Yeah, it's Goodwill Hunting 2, hunting season.
Yeah, hunting season.
But yeah, God, man, I forgot about this part of the game. Like, just fucking ammo has just been so fucking. I'm trying to remember what it was I did on the last playthrough that got the better of me like that. All right, well that's a bit better. Like that's a bit more. That's a bit more workable. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um. Oh yeah. Well, how are we going to make that work for a modern audience? Well, I think the real answer to that is you don't.
Yeah, I think they canned the um the last Ronin um film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that was a casualty of the buyout. Um, oh, I forget all the sort of ins and outs, but yeah, the studio that was prepping it got absorbed into something bigger, and yeah, that was one of the casualties. Although what was really interesting, which I didn't know, was that they had planned to bring back Judith Hoag, the original April O'Neil from the first one.
Yeah, I think it's again, it's another one of those. We sat on this perch too long. Um, because I remember seeing a trailer, right? A trailer reaction to the Killer Instinct revival on the Xbox One, and it was a guy doing spin snap kicks in his living room, right? Screaming like a fucking ninja, talking about how awesome Killer Instinct is, and then he's like, now let's say you were 18 in 1994 when the first one came out. You're now pushing 40 years old. So what would you give a fuck about a Killer Instinct reboot? Why would you even care? Um, and I remember thinking back then that that was just something like, and I know he said it in jest, but it was something that was just going to stick with me because I've applied that to just about everything else. Like, yeah, I'd love to see something with Dino Riders, right? But I am not at all going to be phased or inclined to go and see it if it ever did happen. Um, all right, and like they
Yeah,
finally got to it, but what do I do with that?
yeah, it's hard when they've been away for a long time, but it's also probably arguable something like the Ninja Turtles has never gone away. The show, the cartoon ran from the late 80s to the early 90s. The late 90s had the live action, The Next Mutation, which ran for a year or so. And then in the early 2000s, you had the 2003 series, which ran for 4 or 5 years. And then you had the Nickelodeon show from 2012. And from that point on, you had the Michael Bay produced live action movies. So it's had a couple of lulls here and there, but it's arguable it's never gone away. It wasn't dead and buried the way like Transformers was or something.
I think the reason for that though is because it didn't sort of, none of those are a continuation of the movie though. Like none of those are a continuation of the 80s cartoon though. Like I think that's how that works, whereas this last Ronin thing, which was, I don't know, I was under the impression that it was sort of bending over backwards to be that.
Yeah.
I just
Well,
don't
that's
know
a
how
comic
well.
book. It was going to be an adaptation of the comic book. There is a comic book called that was really well received within the fandom. I've never read it, but I had planned to read it closer to the movie's release, but I'm not sure how the original April O'Neil would have tied into it, if she's in the original story or not. But it's interesting. She keeps a YouTube channel and she still has a lot of love for that character. She introduces herself as the original April O'Neil and that sort of stuff. Does the convention circuit and whatnot. So um because yeah, I don't think she was in a whole lot of stuff. She had a brief part in Armageddon, um, playing Chick's ex-wife, but yeah, I really struggled to because they recast her in the second and third films with a different actress.
Alright, I've splashed a fucking fair bit on weaponry. What do you think about the whole convention circuit thing at this day and age? I was thinking about it through the week, right? I don't know if I'd ever be really inclined to go to one again. Like, I mean, I'm guessing in Yankville they're a much bigger deal, and I mean, like outside of meeting maybe a few of the Beast Wars voice actors, I mean, it's not really. I don't know. I guess the novelty on them, I didn't really fall into it the way that a lot of fans seem to. I guess is what I'm really asking about. If you sort of fell into it.
No, not particularly. Yeah, I find yeah, there's yeah, because I'm a little bit older than you lot, but yeah, a lot of the sort of actors or creators I sort of admired, like are long since retired or have sadly passed away. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. I'd drop everything and go and want to meet. Um, so yeah, but it is sort of fun to walk through sort of the alleys and see all the comic book vendors and the figures and the merch and that. So that's kind of fun on days like that. But yeah, I don't know. And there's some sort of new ones. I did when I was a much bigger fan of the Arrowverse, when I was a bit more of an avid watcher. The guy who played Deadshot in that was visiting Australia. It would have been cool to see him at one of these shows, but yeah, I don't know. Conventions, I think that's a young person's game.
It is like I was thinking about oh yeah, what about something like TFCon and or BotCon or something like that, and then I typed in on YouTube just to sort of gauge what this thing was like. I guess you could say. So I was checking out some of the ones from last year, from 2025, and no fucking way in hell would I ever go to one of those. Um, just no, straight up. It's not. I mean, like, look, man, I get these guys and whatever eat, sleep, and shit this stuff and all that kind of jazz, but I mean, their panelists are fucking YouTubers, man. Like, there's
Oh, really?
like, yeah, like, don't get me wrong, man. I love me some Jobby the Hong as well, but I'm not fucking traveling all the way to the States to watch him on a panel. Like, mate. And just the way some of these fans are about it, like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the other sad point. Fandom behavior has ruined a lot of things in real life and on the internet. So, which is all a bit disappointing.
I mean, the internet is no place to voice your opinions. Um, is something I learned this week. Oh no, not mine. Just Uh, just never like you don't drink and tweet and what the fuck was that? Oh my god, no, we're starting that again. That should have been an instant kill. That like what the fuck? Retry from checkpoint. Yes. But yeah, no, like I saw it and just yeah, I don't know, man. Like we're all like in the 35 plus club and we're getting in line for photos with a YouTuber who talks shit about Transformer toys and I don't know, like there's no real guest. I was like Bernard in Spider-Man 3. You mean like a guest?
Yeah, burn it. Get some food.
But yeah, nah, man, it's totally not for me. I mean, I get more of a kick out of just window shopping on eBay than I ever would going to a botcon. I mean, because like, I think what you were saying there, like another problem with that, I mean, like you know, like Vince DiCola used to go to these things, yeah, but Vince DiCola is like 80 now, and arthritis has like crippled his hands, so I don't think he'll be getting up to too much at one of these botcons. But yeah, it's all, you know, till all are one and listening to the touch and all this kind of shit. And yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, well,
Like,
I mean, that's familiarity is breeds contempt. That's the it's, like going to see an old band or something. They just hit all the beats. That's yeah.
I don't know. I just thought if there was one I'd be interested in going to. But yeah, I think what you were saying before, just sheer fandom behavior now is just why the fuck would I go to a congregation of that? I can barely stomach it online.
Yeah.
Now, of course, that's not to say that every fan is a dumbass like that, and some of them do go out and touch grass eventually. And like, look, I know, not all of them, but the problem is, enough of them are, you know. Now, I don't know why the hell this didn't take. Yes, there we go. Rocket launcher, man, one hit kill. I'm not doing this shit because we don't have the ammo for it. Oh yeah, like would you ever go to a con about Dragon Ball? Fuck no. But like I think you're right. Like I mean, because one of my beliefs, um, for the longest time was that like I think there definitely is an age cutoff when it comes to watching shit like anime. I mean, like there's 5 anime series I've seen from start to finish. I've never really started one in my adult life because I just think like why? I mean, when you're a fucking edgy 16-year-old, I mean, like of course you think it's the coolest shit in the world. I don't know. I just don't think it carries the same weight when you're knocking 36 and you're still watching it. All right, now this boss room should be loaded. Oh, see, like that's all right. Yeah, we're starting to get a bit. We should have one of these fully upgraded soon, but we're about to move into the next phase of this whole thing, and that's the island. Was there ever a set moment for you when you realized that fandoms like the idea of being like a connoisseur of a certain entertainment had really swung into new territory?
Um, yeah, there's been a couple over the years. Game of Thrones. It's funny
Yeah,
to be a fan of something when it was that began life as a book series, and it was quite well known in fantasy and science fiction circles, but essentially it was kind of a niche sort of product. And then when it got a television adaptation that blasted it into the stratosphere, it's arguably the most successful television show of all time. even just comparing the numbers it was pulling into some of its spin-off, it's staggering, it's jaw-dropping how many people watch that show over the world. Yeah, truly incredible. But it had changed forever. It was never going back to what it could be. You know, I remember there was a bookshop in Sydney that I used to buy books from, and they actually got George R. R. Martin to come out like before he was huge. This was around like '09, 2010, before the show, and I never attended it, but people who did, like he was sitting around having coffee and Tim Tams. He was just a regular guy um, who just wrote these epic books, and now he's a household name. And he goes to the New York Comic Con, and he's like he's one of the most influential people in show business. And it brought in like the boys from Valve, they call it the dragons and tits crowd. um, like they're not fans of the book or fantasy or magic or anything. They're edgy dark lords, They and they like the fact that the main character gets killed off. They like the fact that who you think is going to be the second main character, he gets killed off as well. And like the random shocking acts of violence littered throughout the series that um get people's attention. It's Yeah, the books had that, but the books also had a lot of other stuff in it that the adaptation sort of didn't cover. Um, and a lot of the nuance was sort of lost, and but you knew there was never going back. He's never going to be having Tim Tams just talking with like a handful of people in a bookstore ever again. It's going to be fucking lines out the door. Everyone wants a piece of him. Um, and it just by becoming so huge, like there was never any way of going back to that sort of what the fandom was like in the early to mid 2000s. What else was there? Transformers has changed a lot. Not for the better in some ways. Star Wars, of course. I mean that is has now just disappeared up its own ass in a miasma. Um, the lack of self-reflection there and introspection is, I mean, they need to write fucking 20 psychological reports on that. Um, so, but interestingly enough, I'm kind of looking forward to The Mandalorian and Grogu because I got out while it was good. I only watched season one and two, which was the high point of arguably Disney's whole run. I never stuck around for season three, and I only briefly watched the pilot of the Book of Boba Fett, and like I knew it was going to be terrible, so I bailed. So my memory isn't as tainted as others who stuck with it, even though they knew it was shit. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I might check it out. um, but I'm curious about the marketing. If it's requiring me to be up to speed with all these shows, then obviously it's no deal. But if they're going to market it as if you remember the broad strokes of the show when it was good, then I could get on board with that. Um, and as I get older, I just don't like dogpiling. Like people just shit canning Ray's character. It kind of makes me want to stick up for her. People shit canning the Mandalorian kind of makes me want to stick up for him. It's just something weird I've noticed about myself as I've sort of gotten older. No one is expecting much from it, but I don't really want much from it. If it's going to be a fun way to kill 2 hours, like Grizzly Night was, that's enough for me. I was really happy with it. I don't need to know where it fits into the lore. I don't need to fucking know how it's tied into the one before and the one after. I don't need to know if a fucking lightsaber did something that canonically wasn't possible 30 years ago. I mean, punch yourself in the face very hard, and just go
Repeatedly.
with it. Yeah, you know, and so maybe that's the key for the whole saga surviving. Just because I disagree with a lot of people on this. Well, I don't think Star Wars is unkillable. I know it's been around for generations, and it's tempting to think it will be there for generations, but I don't think it has the weird quirks in it the way something like Transformers does. See, I think Transformers will survive because there's so many weird quirks in how it was made and how it was put together and its history that you don't get in Star Wars. But people are the opposite. People say Star Wars will die and or Transformers will die and Star Wars will live on. I don't know. I'm not sensing that with Star Wars. I just think because it was under the control of one guy for most of its life, it doesn't have although he is a fucking quirky dude, um, it doesn't have the quirks of something like Transformers that always just sort of makes it endlessly kind of fascinating. So, but I guess time will tell. There's they have the Mandalorian film and the Ryan Gosling Starfighter film is coming after that. Um, so yeah, that fandom is irrevocably changed. There's I think the Lord of the Rings sort of still holds up really well. Because as shit as some of these later follow-ups have been, that trilogy is pretty much untouchable. It's it's kind of they're just so good. The Hobbit was subpar, but it doesn't ruin the earlier ones. These cartoon animated films they're doing, people who have checked them out, they're not very good. They don't ruin the original trilogy. This Hunt for Gollum film, which is
If it's
coming out.
if this hunt for Gollum really does just cast Vigo as Aragorn again, get the fuck out of here. If that's what they're doing.
Yeah, but it won't. Yeah, I don't think nothing could ever kill that original trilogy because it's just so timeless. And I guess I'm lucky. A lot of the franchises that are struggling or the fandom has changed for the worse, I was never a big fan of. Like
Yeah.
things like I know the MCU are struggling and things like that, but I was never a real hardcore fan of those films. I'd seen the occasional one, and I've seen probably 9 or 10 of them, but I was never an active participant and follower. So I
No,
don't,
neither was I, to be
yeah, so I
honest.
don't really care if they keep pinching off turds.
I might have pinched one off too soon.
Yeah, I left a rosebud in there for you.
Well, I mean, that's sort of how I see it, man, eh? Like, God, how fucking outraged are you supposed to be on this shit? Like,
Yeah, there's some green shoots here and there, but
fuck.
the um the concerning part is they're sort of few and far between. There's just doesn't seem to be sort of films that grow by word of mouth. A lot of it just seems to be sort of AI driven. Um, and that's something that's weird as well about Star Wars. Like so many AI driven, AI created fan things now. Like Disney and Lucasfilm used to be really aggressively enforce their sort of copyright on that. Now more and more are just slipping through the net. They don't really seem to care. Um, maybe the lesson, sadly, is apathy engulfs everything. They had the 20th anniversary of the A Feast for Crows, the republishing of that. That was with AI art, which caused a bit of a kerfuffle. And it's like the publisher, like who cares, you know? Like imagine having a blue chip brand and giving it AI art, and and Martin never commented on it. Maybe that's the sad truth. Apathy eventually swallows everything.
Well, I think yes. But, again, when it comes to something like that, I haven't been an active follower of it, and I think even with the pushback, like when I saw someone link me to fucking Jim Lee talking shit about AI art, I'm like, well, look, that's great, but the problem here, guys, is that Jim Lee isn't quite the force that he was 30 years ago, and what happens when he dies? Um,
Yeah.
you know, like I just, I mean, like of course your Todd McFarlane's and all of that are going to push back on this stuff, but those guys have had their heyday. Um,
Like
I
I'm
like,
fine with it being an assistant,
yeah, yeah, of
but
course, yeah.
it is I don't know, I think it's kind of yeah, I don't know, it's just sort of weird, you know, if you just simply type in a sentence and it generates a picture. I don't mind if it's a human and a computer working in tandem, but if a computer just generates it a picture 100% with little to no human interaction and a human just typing in prompts. I don't know, maybe the whole definition of art needs to change. And like I don't mind AI, but I don't know, it's like I guess I'm not okay with AI taking a human out of a job. If a human, and it's just because that, you know, a lot of companies are just cheapskates as well. I
Well,
think
a
that's probably
million
part of it.
saved is a million earned.
Yeah, that's right. They get their bonus and what, 4,000 people are out of a job.
Well, money's isn't everything.
It is to this asshole.
Well, yeah, like it's just that I mean the way that fucking I mean like automated machines, you know, like when they started rocking up on conveyor belts, they did a very similar thing.
Yeah.
I mean, are we still going to get outraged about that when we could say a group of people could do it? Like, where do you draw the line? I mean, what does Chaz Licciardelli say? You got to have control. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I can understand manufacturing. Who was the lady who made the comment? I thought AI was going to be used to do my washing and laundry and dishes so I could do art, not AI creating art so I can do the washing and laundry and dishes. Isn't that funny? I thought that was a really good point. Like it's okay, like AI and robots can do a lot of the menial work. Um, but yeah, it's just so funny that they're like AI is really booming in the creative arts and not the sort of the fucking Jetsons, you know, where we had robots doing all the shitty
Yeah,
jobs we didn't
I
want
just
to do.
want my Rosie the maid that doesn't ask
Yeah.
questions. Like, now, I mean, make of that what you will, but yeah, basically it's the age old. It's supposed to make life easier, not harder. Um,
Yeah.
is how it's supposed to be going. But I suppose you know. I mean, like the real push is you need to have people that genuinely care enough about pushing back on it, and I just don't think there's enough.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess that's the truth. Apathy swallows everything eventually.
I mean, I can understand outgrowing something, but to genuinely not give a shit about anything around you, yeah, I can't get behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've had people scream at me about my positions on AI. All I said about AI was that it's here to stay and there's nothing you can do about it, so make her feel welcome. Um, but you know what? My opinion doesn't matter jack shit in the grand scheme of things. If you think different, then do something about it.
Yeah, there was a funny meme I saw. These two T-800 endoskeletons are leading this guy away. And Skynet goes, no, stop. He can survive. He said thank you to us once.
We're there now, aren't we?
Yeah.
See, but the thing is though, like if there's going to be I think the problem here is that everyone wants to say fuck AI, but none of them are willing to sacrifice the benefits of it though. Um, I think that's the issue
Yeah.
that's really going on because I mean it does. I mean like it detects breast cancer like before it's even formed. Like, are we gonna stop it from doing that?
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, to make the kind of push that people want against it, you pretty much have to outlaw it everywhere. But too many people love the everyday convenience of it. You know, like
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely here to stay. And there is no example in the history of the entire human
yeah, it's
civilization where people say we want to use this new technology, but only for a little bit. It's either all or nothing.
yeah, it's just that that's the thing. Like, this is completely uncharted territory, isn't it? Like, it's we've never been here before, and I think it is going to just fucking do its thing. Um, you know, like as physical comics aren't printed anymore or anything like that. Like, this is just another one of those things.
Yeah.
You know, like fucking. I don't think there is. You know, there's a good comment I like to remember from the Civil War comic, and Iron Man says it to Spider Man, and it's after the Thor clone kills Bill Foster, I think,
Hmm.
and they're having that chat, and that's when Peter wants to turn heel and join Cap's side. After the Thor clone does that, he thinks Tony's lost his fucking marbles. Um, and anyway, Tony has a very good moment. Like, what did you think registration was about, Peter? Going back to the good old days was never on the table. And when I think about the whole pushback, you know, like on AI and all of that, and the whole hoo ha about that, I just think about that. Like, just, man, going back to the good old days is just not on the table. Um, like, that's not
Yeah.
going to happen. You're chasing a dream if you think we're going to go. Like, if you think we're going to turn back the clock even 7 years, nah, man, not going to happen.
Yeah. What does he say in The Wire? The thing about the old days is they're the old days.
Yeah, that by definition, you're always behind your prey.
Mm.
Yeah, the problem I have with being on a trail. See, yeah, like, I mean, okay,
That's
well,
from, what's that? That's a good quote. What was that from?
yeah, the problem I have with being on a trail is that by definition, you're always behind your prey. Mahone says that
Yeah.
in
Yeah, to
Manhunt.
Bellic, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I told you, we're on their trail.
yeah, and
Mm.
it's a very good point because you're always a fucking step behind when you're on a trail.
Yeah, season two was fucking brilliant of that
Manhunt.
show. Yeah, because it was just that logical extension. Yeah, once they've escaped, they're going to be hunted. Yeah, what a terrific. Um, I'll never forget one of my friends when I was working and was really into the show. And I was going to work and she was asking me what I was doing. Oh yeah, I was watching Prison Break and she goes, "Oh, that show." I was going, "What's your problem? It's great." It's well, they went to all the trouble to escape from prison. They kill a few people and get thrown back in prison. I just laughed. It's like, I don't think it's exactly how it went down, but yeah, she wasn't far off.
That's the ultimate too long didn't read
Yeah.
summary of the first 3 years of Prison Break.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. And I enjoyed the Sona season. Many people didn't at the time. I thought it was a really good show.
Thank God I can suplex these fuckers. Yeah, I really like the Sonar one too. Lechero's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I mean, well, they're back in prison, but I mean that is the too long didn't read version. But you know, well, yes, Michael is locked up again. However, he's not in his home country, and he has
Mm.
none of the advantages that he had that first time around.
Yeah.
Like it's on the job thinking this time. So it's not the retread that people think that it is. I mean, because the
Yeah.
guy had like what 2.5 years of prep leading up to the Fox River breakout. He had none of that during the
Yeah.
sonar stuff.
Yeah. I remember a year or two ago you were watching The X-Files. What did you make of that?
Like I mean, I think this is one that just truly missed me by. I think
Mm.
I did give it its fair shake. Like I checked out the first two seasons, I think,
Oh,
but
that's pretty good. Yeah.
like I think but the I don't know. I think it's just a little bit too 90s for me. Like this one I think really has just sort of missed me by.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like I know there's some awesome plot threads in there, like with the smoking man and all that kind of stuff, and I like unlocking Mulder's sister's memories and all that kind of thing. And but I don't know, man. I think what it is it's Star Trek syndrome for me. And that is, it's got all these awesome beats, but it's shit that I've seen in other seasons of other things. Um,
Yeah. In the interim.
yeah, I know, like, because like a lot of this Supernatural has done and has done it better. You know, like a lot of this was done and it was done better in other things. Now, like that's not to say that you know, like had you have seen X Files back in the day, and you've been just an avid viewer of it, and you've been to the theaters 3 times to see three theatrical, good on you. But this one really is one that's missed me by. Like I could never get into Star Trek because I've watched all of Babylon 5. Um, you know, and it's much less the same.
Yeah.
It's similar deals there. Like it's not like I'm not saying that it's shit. I'm just saying I've seen this before in other things, and you know it also goes without saying that if the X Files wasn't the hit that it was, these other shows that I'm talking about may not have ever existed.
Yeah.
So that needs to be acknowledged. But yeah, it's stuff that I've seen in other things. So it's tough to sort of go back to that. It's like when people try to sell me on Game of Thrones. Oh, it's just like this. Only well, I liked it's just like this as it was. I don't know if it's really bringing a lot to the table for me to want to check out again. You know, like it's sort of the reason why I still haven't seen Desolation of Smaug or Battle of the Five Armies. Oh yeah, but it's like it's more Jackson Lord of the Rings. I'm like, well, I don't really want more of that because as you were just saying before, like we've already got the ultimate trilogy of that. um, yeah, I think that was my issue with X Files. It was just a little too late to the party, and I was a little bit too late getting around to it.
Yeah. It's Raph, a little too Raph.
I mean, well, this happens, you know, like you put something on the back burner for long enough, and when you finally get the means to get around to see it, um, you know, like there's nothing really unique about it anymore because you've probably seen it in something else.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
that's a pretty good point.
I mean, it happens, you know. It's. I mean, why? I mean, did you stick it out? Did you catch it all?
Um, no, I've never done a complete rewatch, but I was never a regular viewer of it back in the 90s. I did watch it in the 90s, but kind of semi-regularly. Um, I have sampled a couple of episodes here and there on some rewatches over the years. I was really surprised at just how early Krychek and some other characters showed up. Because in my mind as a kid watching it, I would have thought Krychek showed up in like season 4 or 5. But memory works and time works different when you're a kid. Um, so I was surprised because he shows up in like season 2. Um, so I was surprised about that. And I guess the sort of 90s
Oh,
um,
fuck me again.
production and that probably don't bother me as or are not as striking to me as you. Um, so yeah, and just other things like that. Because it's kind of funny. Like I'd be interested in rewatching it again, but not from the start. And someone recommended, who's a bit more hardcore fan of it, to start at season 3. So I found it interesting when you mentioned you sort of um, kind of lost interest at the end of season 2. So that was kind of interesting. And people forget as well, it has 2 feature films. Um, the X-Files movie came out, I think, in 1998, and there was a belated sequel to that in 2008 after the show ended its original run. Um, And that first one was huge. That was commercially successful, but it's kind of sort of faded away. I guess it's um must yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. It's a because I think it was it sort of achieved the impossible. It did well with general audiences as well as the hardcore fans because that I think it takes place after season 5 and 6, and that's a lot of episodes you got to slog through if you want to be able to enjoy it. But I don't know, maybe rather than a whole rewatch, maybe I might just watch the film that came out in 1998 because apparently that seemed to hit all the beats. It's got the Mulder and Scully dynamic. Um, it's got it touches on the conspiracy and the aliens and things like that. So maybe everything that people love about the show was just condensed into those 2 hours. It's
Well, probably. I mean,
yeah.
that sounds about right.
Yeah, that'll if anyone has an urge to revisit it, maybe just stick with the films.
Yeah,
Um
because I downloaded like that mega torrent that had pretty much everything that is viewable that series has to offer. And yeah, I gave it the first two, and I might have done a little bit of three, but yeah, by then I was pretty much out of steam.
yeah.
I started to fall into that background noise territory where I'd whack it on, but I'm not really watching it. Like nothing's going in,
Yeah.
and I fucking hate doing that to things.
Yeah.
And I do it way too often. Like that's when I knew, like, yeah, all right, I won't treat it like that, like it's some cheap fucking route on the side. Um, yeah, no, like it's just yeah, I just think like look, man, like I was born in the '90s, but a lot of that shit missed me by. It's the same reason why I never went back to crap like Melrose Place or anything like that. That shit is just way too fucking for me, you know? Like I no man, I can't do that to myself. I just can't.
Yeah.
I've had some idiots try to talk me up to it, but I'm like, look, it's not happening, man.
Yeah. Dun, dun, no, 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 no. Yeah, Melrose Place.
Like, mate, just it just screams '90s hangover. Like, I mean, there's tons of these '90s shows. Like, I mean, honestly, but the funniest thing is though, is that I can't see myself sitting down and watching any version of Star Trek, right? But I wouldn't rule out DSV. But it's essentially the exact same fucking thing. I don't know. Maybe it could just be a me thing.
Sequest.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a mad show. That's one I did watch back in the day. That's a fucking mad show, Sequest.
I think the reason though I like it so much is because of Roy Schreider. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
Bridger.
because it has something that I think I didn't get enough of um, growing up, and as Captain Nathan Bridger, he's just so fucking entertaining. Like,
Yeah.
find someone who will disagree with that,
Yeah. My favorite storyline, he dated the mother and then he starts shagging the daughter.
as you do.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've met this great woman. There's only one problem. I dated her mother. And she's like 40 years younger than him. Oh, it's great. It's like, Charles Bronson's Death Wish movies. Like every wife he's got in those movies is like 40 years his junior.
You know, I always crack up. Have you seen that meme going around? There's this fucking old guy chatting up some 21-year-old, some 18-year-old at the pub. And he's like, where have you been all my life? And then she says, well, for the first 2/3, I wasn't even born yet.
Oh, that's great.
And when you say shit like the Charles Bronson stuff and all of that, like I just think that same thing. I'm just like, yeah, um, I can't believe they actually did that in DSV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the real star of the show is Darwin, and not to mention, I think the humor, like maybe not everything that's in that series is written to be funny, but I think a lot of the shit that does happen in DSV is just too funny not to laugh at. Like, I mean, when they were in that like lockdown internal affairs fucking episode, going, one of your crew has been fraternizing with the enemy, and it's Darwin.
Yeah,
Like,
Darwin's been arrested.
with all due respect, sir, he's a fucking dolphin. Yeah, Darwin has been arrested, and the plant episode where the plant is like psychedelically affecting all the crew and turning them all
Yeah,
aggro, where Nathan flips out and fires like the entire crew of the DSV, like fucking, I can't even remember what happened that set him off, but he just goes rank and he just starts firing people. And then the Darwin starts snorkeling at him, and then there's this, I love the way Roy plays it. He comes over to this fucking dolphin and then just grabs it by the bottom jaw, and I'm like, is he about to punch the dolphin? Because I thought he was about to job Darwin there. That one always cracks me up.
yeah, Sequest.
I don't like. I think that one, and like I've always said, I've always loved shit that happens underwater. I just think Sequest would be more worth my time checking out than something like Star Trek. Oh yeah, you got to check out, the Next Generation. Well, do I? Like, I don't get me wrong. Like, I'm sure it's great, and all that kind of things. But like, you're trying to sell me Xenia Warrior Princess when it's been off the air for 25 years. Like, it's I just don't know, man.
Yeah,
Like, I think I guess what I'm trying to say is there is a moment where it has been just a little bit too long to go. Like, I mean, like, if you saw it back in the day or were familiar with it from back in the day, like, that's one thing to want to go back and to find out what it was all about. But to get someone who's totally removed from it to go back and do it, I think you have a lot of trouble doing that.
yeah, particularly now, maybe 10 or 15 years ago when the world hadn't changed as much. You probably could, but yeah, it's really hard to sort of go back to that sort of quaint time, knowing that the world has changed so much.
See, that's why I love saying just weird shit when it comes to that. I miss the world the way that it was and all of that. I always like saying things like, well, now will always be better than then.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, I love just saying stuff like that because go to think of anything, right? Like, even from like your 20s, right, or your 30s, right? Think of anything from that period and search it up. You're gonna find people that are knocking around in your age bracket talking about, and it was never gonna get any better than this.
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, nah, man, nah, man, nah, nah. Now will always be better than then. Um,
Yeah, there's
like,
other ones as well. Like I thought Stargate would be right up my alley, the show, but uh, whenever I sat down to watch it, I start with the film, which is canon. And that gave me my fill, you know. I never felt the urge to continue with the show, even though Kurt Russell's character and James Spader's character are all in there. And I think James Spader actually does make an appearance. So yeah, it's always sort of, yeah, like that first film gave me my fill of it. I never felt the urge to sort of continue with the show, even though it looks like it's right up my alley.
well, it probably falls into the trap of it's just more of the same, right? Like, it's, whoa, shit! I forgot about this clown. No sequel. Yeah, it's a beautiful day, and we're out killing drug dealers. Um, I've ever only seen the Stargate movie once. I really need to go back and give that another look. See, because I just think, fucking high end sci-fi special effects with ancient Egyptian imagery is just a recipe for movie magic.
Yeah, I saw it when it first came out. I didn't love it back then. Like my friends were much more avid fans of it, but I have revisited it a couple of times over the years, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I rewatched it probably 2 or 3 years ago here, and I probably enjoyed it the most then. So for me, it's definitely a movie that I've enjoyed more and more as I've gotten older. But yeah, it sort of tells yeah, such a complete story. Because some friends of mine were real hardcore fans of the show SG1, and it had a couple of spin-offs as well. And yeah, it's like and it ran for years, like decades. I always thought that was one that sort of passed me by, but
Applesauce, bitch.
I tried to sort of give it a go, and yeah, you start with the feature film, and that was it. I enjoyed it too much, and that was it. So yeah, and that was a show that sort of came out in the 90s as well. Stargate.
I mean, are you gonna kick off a mega torrent for Jag?
I tried. I sat down to watch Jag, about 4 or 5 years ago. Again, the pilot is movie length. It's a movie length pilot that's really good. Terry O'Quinn's in it, and he plays a fighter pilot that is on trial. I forget the particulars, but yeah, that's a really good one. And Jag was one I did watch mostly regularly. At least the first couple of years. I'm surprised it ran as long as it did. It's
Yeah,
kind of
well, like
interesting that.
eight or so years or something. Like
Yeah,
fucking.
at least. Yeah, it lasted well into the 2000s. Yeah. Yeah, the Judge Advocate General. Um, so yeah, that was another one. I tried to sit down and watch it from the start, but yeah, the pilot's really good. And I watched a few more episodes after that, but yeah, that didn't really grab me. It's probably one that's going to stay in the past for me because I was somewhat of a fan of that show growing up. They would play that. I think that aired on Thursday nights from memory.
I think it was on Seven, wasn't it?
Yeah, Channel 7, yeah, Jag.
I always loved how the adverts for that and would make it seem like it was like a fucking Harrier jump jet fighter simulator series, and it wasn't that at all.
Yeah, no, he started out as a fighter pilot, but he has night blindness, so was no longer allowed to fly. And yeah, he gets reassigned um with the legal arm of the military. And I believe NCIS is a spin-off of Jag, and that's ran for decades now, with multiple spin-offs. I think yeah, NCIS began life as a spin-off of Jag. So its kind of evolution now is complete with it's now the main flagship of the entire franchise.
Oh, I'm guessing that happens quite a bit though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's arguably the most successful show on television. It's still running and it's still maintained a very high um quality, and it's negotiated numerous cast changes and creative personnel changes, and it's never sort of dropped the bar. There's you got NCIS Sydney and NCIS is it Hawaii or something. They've all been successful and they're all still running. Um, so yeah, that show has definitely sort of negotiated the pitfalls that other long-running series stumble upon. I think it because it embraces change. It when they when the main character left, they didn't recast him or they didn't bring in a character exactly like him. They brought in a character that was very different from him. And the show and the crew just sort of evolved, in a new, fresh direction. So yeah, it's really cool how that show's managed to survive.
That had to have been it. Come the fuck on. We want a fresh new take, but we don't want too different.
Yeah.
Um, we want to keep it familiar enough. Just
Yeah, well, it's a real juggling act because so many of them failed. They tried to bring Heroes back, it failed. They tried to bring CSI back, it failed. They tried to bring Prison Break back, it failed. Um, if you're too dependent on the past and don't introduce new elements, you'll fail. But if you're too new and don't have a few callbacks to the past, you'll fail. So getting the balance right is very, very tricky.
I think one of the biggest things though about the Heroes one is that getting like, and I guess they did market themselves as a what a semi spin off or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's a tough sell without Adrian Pazda or Milo Ventimiglia. Now, like I know Nathan Petrelli does get killed in the series, but to not have him in any capacity at all, to have either of those two in any capacity at all, that is such a fucking massive sell. Um, to try and get people on board.
Yeah. I wonder if Zachary Quinto came back, or did he die as well in the original run?
I honestly can't remember. Yeah, Sylar.
Yeah. I wonder if Hayden Panettiere came back.
Oh, but you also got to remember, like she was what she was popping off on that Nashville show, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, we're coming up to the regenerator part, and I don't really want to fucking start that tonight because I remember spewing about that when I was a kid. So what I'm going to do is, oh, wait a minute, please tell me there's actually a fucking typewriter here, because if there's not, we might have to backtrack.
Got some rare thing. What are you buying? What are you buying? Not enough cash.
Yeah, the tactical vest. That would be good to have in an ideal world.
Thank you.
Look, I'm gonna sell this fucking beer stein because
High price.
the redstone of faith. Yeah, we can sell these gems as well because
Ah.
no, actually no, we shouldn't need to.
Is that all? Thank you.
Yeah, all right, I'll take that, and then we'll double back to the Oh, hang on a minute. No, there is a typewriter just in the next room. Yeah, okay, hang on. No, so we'll go there first because I thought I had to maybe circle all the way back. That would, because usually when you find the merchant, there's usually a typewriter with him, right? But anyway, we'll go through here, and then this will be where we. Okay, so to the left, up. There it is. Oof. That's not a bad innings at all, I don't think. What is that? That's Salazar dead. That's always good. Is this Total Request live? Actually, this is more like Total Request dead. Well, was Josie and the Pussycats, wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember that scene, Carson Daly.
Yeah, that's right. And they pull out the baseball bats. Actually, this is more like Total Request dead. Yeah, check out the fingernails. Yeah, no, I reckon it's going to be a bit of a quiet one. I'll probably wrap up the end of Supernatural. I will check out Bone Temple, but and I do have that Grizzly Night as well, so I might give Chapter 2 a complete miss and check that out. I mean, it's got Oded Fair, so it's already a fucking leg up.
Yeah, and he's very good in it as well.
He's very good in everything, mate. Like that's the
Yeah,
problem with him.
he lends a touch of class to that. So he's not the main character, but he becomes very instrumental once the shit hits the fan. So yeah, and I quite liked I spent um after watching it, yeah, just sort of reading about the real life incident.
Is it actually based on that, or is it just
Uh,
inspired by it?
yeah, it's loosely based on there were two separate bear attacks on the same night. Um, and the way the film juggles them, I thought was really cool. Um, and yeah, you're like, and they even mention it in the film, like the odds of that happening are in the millions. You're talking to like 1,000,000 to 1.
Two bear attacks in one night.
Yeah, it was just so I think they were so shocked and stunned that one happened, let alone two, and it kind of hampered their response. Um, but as well, it's like we kind of touched on last week.
Yeah.
Camping and swimming and all that stuff is great, but you do have to, in the back of your mind, respect nature, and it's the law of the jungle out there. Even in camping sites and even in like popular tourist spots, there are dangers there, and people need to be awake to them. Um,
I, I,
but yeah, I really enjoyed the movie, and it's very lean and tight, like a lean hour and 20 odd minutes. So yeah, really enjoyed it.
I was always a sucker for that moment in fucking Vice Principals. The bloke who played Stan in Jericho rocks up as a tiger handler in the series finale because their mascot is a tiger at North Jackson. So what ends up happening is he brings this fucking tiger in, and one of the VPs comes up to him talking about it. It's crazy seeing one up close, but at least this one ain't dangerous. Ain't dangerous. It's a fucking tiger. And that's the tiger handler doing it. And it reminds me when you hear about these stories where, like a dream world or something, some tiger handler gets mauled, and then the public response to it is usually, "Oh my god, that's just crazy. How did that happen?" It's a fucking apex predator. You know,
Yeah,
it's one of the coolest things that I remembered about Jurassic World when the kids ask Owen, "Is it safe?" No, never forget what they are. Um, when it comes to the
yeah, there needs to be
Velociraptors, like
yeah, there probably needs to be more of that in films because that's sort of something's kind of weird about society now. This anthropomorphizing animals and pretending like they're human and they're not. They're animals. They have killer instincts. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, I thought it was refreshing to see that in Jurassic World, where he just like cuts the shit and tells them straight.
And
Because you don't often see that.
there's another awesome moment in Dominion where Maisie asks Owen when Blue corners them and she's getting all aggro. She wouldn't hurt us, right? Bet your ass she will. Yeah, just don't let her see that you're scared. I am scared, yeah, but she doesn't need to know that. And I just miss that kind of thing. And when I saw the reaction to incidents like that, like someone falls into a gorilla enclosure and gets ripped to pieces, had no idea that was coming. Um, Look, it's an absolute tragedy, but you know, it's an animal, man.
Yeah,
Like
I've been on a bit of a kick with killer animal films because the Sunday before I watched the new film Primate, and that wasn't too bad, although I enjoyed Grizzly Night better. Um, yeah, it inspired me to dig up a few more of them. Just sort of, you got your Mount Rushmore, Mount Everest of Jaws and that, but there's some ones off the beaten path like Orca and interestingly enough, Hitchcock's The
birds.
Birds.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say birds has to be on there somewhere.
yeah, but that's like I ranked that right up there with Jaws. The Birds was an amazing film. I watched it for the first time a couple of years ago, and yeah, that was like my favorite film I saw that year. It was right up there. Um, yeah, absolute masterclass of a film. So yeah, really enjoyed The Birds. So yeah, and there's been a few bear ones. There was that one called Backcountry we checked out a couple of years ago. That wasn't too bad. And there's a good one, although probably not
That
for the
was the
right
one with that.
reasons.
Was Backcountry the one where that Muppet got ripped to pieces in that
Yeah,
fucking tent?
yeah,
It was a black bear, I think.
yeah, and the girl escaped. But there's one, if you enjoy Grizzly Night, there's one called Into the Grizzly Maze, which I have a real soft spot for because the cast is phenomenal. You got Thomas Jane, James Marsden, Billy Bob Thornton, Scott Glenn, Piper Perabo. Like that cast is absolutely fucking stacked for a movie like that. Um, someone, someone just couldn't wrap their head around it. They were posting on. Does the director have incriminating photos of all these people? How the hell did this cast get so stacked?
I mean, it happens, man, doesn't it? Like
Yeah,
you get like a Z grade plot that has
yeah,
like the most A-list talent in it.
yeah. And Billy Bob plays like the Quint of like, you don't ever mess with a bear like this. This bear's something else. I loved it.
I love shit talking like that in
Yeah,
movies. Like, oh, it ain't no man. Like
yeah,
levels of wank.
yeah. Fucking loved it.
I miss good creature features, man. It's almost like a lost art in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, because the good ones are just so good. Jaws will never be topped, but there's some that are within striking distance. Alligator's really good. The Birds is right up there. I think, you know, that's within striking distance of Jaws. Um, that's a phenomenal movie, and the terror of it is like it's never explained. There's a couple of little hints and there's some motifs and themes going on that attempt to explain it, but yeah, I mean that's the scary part. Hitchcock leaves it up to you to decide why they suddenly turn on humans.
It's the
It's
devil.
it could be anything. It's really cool. It's really cool that movie. I I always had it penciled in as a discussion we'd get to one of these days.
Oh yeah,
Um,
we'll have to get back into those.
yeah,
It's been fucking God. Like I don't even think we've done one this year. I don't think.
yeah, we'll have to get back into it and put one up.
Birds.
Um,
I don't think I've seen that in quite a while. I probably have to go back to that.
yeah, absolutely loved it. Fucking top movie. So yeah, I do like these creature features. It's kind of becoming my Sunday tradition.
Well,
Um,
it's I think it's because it's a nice, you know, see, this is what I love the most. Like when you see people review a creature feature movie, right? What do you get? Oh, the plot isn't overly complex. Does it fucking need to be? You're talking about a giant animal with a lot of teeth.
yeah, that's
Like, does
right.
it need to be? Like, I don't think that this is the type of fucking thing you'd go to for, incredible performances that make you. I think I said this on our Rampage discussion, and I was like, people didn't like it because the plot was weak or something like that. I'm like, it's based on the video game Rampage starring Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Like, what did you think was going to happen? Like, what were you expecting this movie to do?
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
that's a top movie.
it's just it's just crazy sometimes when people do that. Like I had someone try to explain to me uh with the Indominus Rex breakout from Jurassic World. They said to me the movie needs to be believable to be good, and I sit back and I think, because he gave an example about Jurassic Park in comparison to it, and I'm just like, believable to be good given the context of what these fucking movies do. The thing that I found quite interesting was, because again, they go down the rabbit hole of, because the plot needs to happen. Why would they be so dumb to go into the Indominus Rex enclosure? Like, why would the enclosure have a door that's Indominus Rex size for it to get out? Because the plot needs to happen. And I'm sitting there thinking, all right, because he gave an example about JP, I'll just take that and I'll give him an example of why JP, the plot needs to happen there. When Gennaro is at San Jose talking to that other Muppet, he's like, I've got Ian Malcolm, but they think he's too trendy. They want Alan Grant to sign off on the park. His opinion matters. He's top of the field and all this kind of jazz. Why is his bank site then fucking financially bankrupt that Hammond buys his opinion? If Alan is so well sought after, how come the finances surrounding him has dried up? Because the plot
Yeah.
needs to happen. But do you think he's gonna fucking say that about the first movie? Um, well, if Alan's so great, why is he so broke? um, because the plot needs to happen. But spoiler alert: every movie you've ever seen is because the plot needs to happen. Why does Jack in Titanic happen to have the exact winning cards that gets him on the Titanic? Because the plot needs to happen. He needs to get his ass on that fucking ship.
Yeah.
Like every
And why does he have a 90s haircut in the 1930s?
because he was hot shit at the time.
Yeah.
It's just that I find this so funny. Like again, like we should almost do like a massive video just on that. Going, yeah, you turn 35 and everything's a cash grab. We need to come up with an actual syndrome for this type of thinking. And when you and like, oh, because the plot needs to happen, because the plot needs to happen. Well, why does fucking Leia send the escape pod to Tatooine? She could have blasted off anywhere else. Because Luke needs to find them for the fucking plot to happen. But like, do you think they would ever say that though? Like, why doesn't let's take T2. Well, why didn't fucking Skynet just send? And even Duncan Casey says this a lot, and that's why I love him. And he's just like, well, why didn't Skynet just send the more one back to 84?
Yeah.
Like,
Which, interestingly enough, Genesis tried to do that, where the T1000 is back in 84. So,
yeah, it's just like because it would have just sent the more one back first, right? Like, why even bother with a T800? Because the plot needs to happen.
yeah.
Like, there isn't going to be much of it. I mean, and also, you have to give Kyle Reese some type of fucking chance. Because, like, I don't think he could have ever have beaten a T1000. Not in 84. No fucking way. Despite the fact that Pops does it.
Yeah, Pops.
Yeah, Pops, or whatever that is. But yeah, it's just this crazy phenomenon. Like they turn 35, and then all of a sudden they're enlightened. They can see all this shit that goes on. Well, look at Star Wars 7. For the people that like it, how come the Empire is essentially back? Because we need to put the status quo back in order. Otherwise, we have no sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one, man. I'll be pining over that, but not over this weekend. This weekend, yeah, I'll definitely check out Grizzly Night because that sounds like it's going to be fun. I'll give the Bone Temple a red hot crack, but that's going to be it. Like I did say, I'd give it a shot. I did say Boyle and Garland had some credit in the bank, and all right, so they're cashing in. All right, I'll give this a shot. I'm not holding my breath though.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, 28 inches later. I like that, what's going around. But hey, look, man, as soon as Samson comes on screen, I'll just do the Brian Thompson tongue thing.
Yes.
But is there anything you're checking out this weekend, or are you just going to get back to some 24?
Yeah, I'll finish watching tonight's episode, and yeah, I'll probably just keep plugging away on 24. The NRL starts up again with the Las Vegas games on Sunday, so I'll check them out. But yeah, I'll try and I want to try and finish 24 this week. So yeah, I might watch a couple of episodes over the weekend. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Spacing them out. So I watched 3 seasons, sort of spaced out last year, like with a couple of months sort of in between each one, and because I think fatigue can set in with a show like that if you don't pace it right, and
Absolutely. I mean, it
yeah,
does.
your enthusiasm can wane a bit. But so yeah, and yeah, really enjoying it. So yeah, just more 24. So yeah, that's the order for me.
Yeah, sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm keen to check out some Grizzly Night, and I'll definitely have to give you the throw out, give you the rundown of what I thought of it. But anything with Oded Fair in it, mate, and I'm going to be there.
yeah, he was good. He added a nice touch of class to it.
If they pay him enough, yes.
Yeah, no, he was. I enjoyed him in it. Yeah,
Yeah, rightio, mate. Well, I'll check that one out and give you the shout out about that one. I'll give chapter 2 the complete miss.
yeah,
I kind of figured as much. I mean, the first one was a real fucking. That didn't really stick with me very well, and it didn't help that this second one was delayed. But, and that's sort of why I put Bone Temple on the back burner the way that I did, because it started to fall into that. I've had this experience before where there's been a trilogy filmed, blah 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 blah. It's all been planned, it's all been mapped out. The first one does something just completely like it seems more of a step back in a lot of regards. And then but don't worry, the second one's gonna make it all make sense. I've heard that shit one too many times.
Yeah.
Over the last decade, and like I didn't have a good vibe from 28 years later, and I definitely didn't have a good vibe from chapter one. But it seems like maybe going back to basics will be the way to go. I might even have to get a rip of that primate.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, but I enjoyed Grizzly Night more. So
And
still
I'm
number
sure
one.
there'll be a fucking rip of Scream 7 soon.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out as well.
Yep,
Um,
it's on the shopping list, that's for sure.
yeah.
Right, yeah, I'll just end this stream now before we wrap up.